know. So I've done positive video after positive video on the Sephora holiday savings event, trying to get you to spend money if you wanted to. But of course, you know, full transparency, I do not love everything that I try. So today I wanted to do some of my least favorite products that I've tried from Sephora recently. All of these have been less than positive experiences, and I wanted to share them with you. I picked these products, they're all fairly new. I feel like all of these products are something that you might be interested in. All of these got a little bit of hype, and I didn't like them, so I'm going to share my experiences with them, why I don't like them, how I've adjusted to make them work for me, and just as something to use as caution for you if you are planning on picking any of these items up. These are my experiences with them. Doesn't mean I'm right or wrong, just my opinion. Anyways, let's go ahead and get started with foundations. I am wearing all of the products today, and I must say my makeup, not the greatest. And where the problem lies always starts with the base, and the base is not looking too hot. So this first one, okay, it's not a shock if you watch me, but a shock overall because Charlotte Tilbury is that brand, okay? They do such a good job with their products. So many of their products go viral. This one was a you love it or you hate it kind of situation with everybody. This is Charlotte's Beautiful Skin Foundation. If you couldn't guess by the mention of it in this video, I am on the hate side. So I have it on this side of my face. I do not like the glowy foundation trend that went around this year. I found that it just emphasized pores, bumps, textures. It didn't smooth or perfect the face at all. And that's exactly what this foundation did. It like bumps on my face, super visible, pores, super visible. It kind of brought out insecurities of my skin that I didn't know that I had. Made me look a little sweaty. It was the kind of situation where every time I wore this foundation, I'd look in the mirror and just go, my skin's just not having the best day today. It's not terrible. The best way to apply this foundation, less is more. Now, I do have more dry to normal skin. I do also sweat a lot. I live in Florida. I live in a very humid climate, so take that with a grain of salt. Like I said, some people love it, some people hate it. For me, it did not do anything good for my skin at all, and I just feel like I can see you loving this and loving the finish of this if you have perfect skin. If you have pores, textures, lumps, and bumps on your face, it's going to look a little thick and emphasize those things that you do not want emphasized. So it's a mixed bag with these. I definitely encourage you guys, if you love any of the products that I'm talking about, share your experiences down below. Let's share the wealth, share the knowledge on these products. But for me, they're my favorite. The next one is even worse than the Charlotte Tilbury, in my opinion. And I was confident that this was going to be amazing. So it hurts extra bad, you know? The knife went in with my disappointment, and then it turned because I expected so much better. This is the Patrick Ta Cream Foundation and Finishing Powder Duo. This might be one of my most used foundations this year because I love Patrick Ta's makeup brand so much that I refuse to believe he couldn't come out with a bad product, and he did. I didn't like this. So how it works, it's a cream foundation and then a powder foundation. This cream, oh my gosh, my skin looks so terrible right now. It patches up, it looks thick, it looks dry. Again, it also emphasizes porous and textured areas, the opposite of Charlotte Tilbury, where Charlotte Tilbury, it kind of emphasized that because it was a thicker consistency and glowy. This one, it's more of a matte finish, satin matte, I would say, but it really is looking dry and settling into dry areas of the face. It's not moving with my face well, so when I smile, this is emphasized right here. Ooh, it's a patchy, dry, clumpy, thick-looking mess. And to make matters worse, the powder will make it look even worse. So a lot of times if there's a foundation that I don't love, when I put a powder on top, that can kind of solve things. The foundation gets put on, I'm like, and then I put the powder on, and it just gets worse. It is really bad, really drying. Overall, Don't recommend that, personally. Love you, Patrick Ta. Love your brand. I don't know what's up with that foundation. Okay, the last one. Now, this is a very viral product, meaning lots of people love it. I couldn't get it to work for me in a way that I liked. I gave it multiple chances, especially when it went viral after I had played with it prior. I was like, okay, let me try this again. The Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Blurring Balm Powder. Okay, so this is another one that just sits on my skin really, really bad. So when I first apply this, I actually feel super perfected. It's very full coverage. I'm like, dang, I'm a model. Probably within about 5 minutes, as it settles onto my skin, kind of warms up with my body heat, I look super dry and super cakey. And obviously, it is meant for more oily skin types. Like Danessa herself said, if you have dry skin, you better prep. So I did prep. I've prepped properly, I've moisturized, I've masked, I've done all that I needed to do. This still just looks dry on my face no matter what. It looks thick. So I feel like it looks good on camera when I wear it because it's so full coverage. But then I get up close and I look like a cake face. So I just can't get this to work for me. Less is definitely more with this product. But even then, I'm not a fan of it. Sorry to dog on this, but didn't work out for me. Next up, let's get into concealers. There's been a lot of subpar concealers that have launched this year, in my opinion. Starting off with this Sephora collection, Best Skin Ever. There's been mixed reviews on this. It took me a bit to really decide whether or not I liked it. And it's not a terrible concealer, that's the thing. But I did want to mention this in this video because I feel like it's a newer product. It's going to be 30% off. But honestly, I really don't like this concealer. So the reason being, it's a little thick and a little dry on the under eyes. It's not a really liquidy concealer, which is fine, but I feel like it keeps that kind of thick look. Even as you blend it out, you can just see the product sitting underneath the eyes. And if you have any fine lines or anything going on, this is definitely going to seep into that and kind of emphasize them. So if you're looking for something that's similar to this but better, the Too Faced Born This Way foundation is way better, way more smooth, but gives an equal amount of coverage. I really believe that this was inspired by the Born This Way concealer from Too Faced, and Too Faced still, it's worth the price difference. I'd still go for the Too Faced. And again, this one, it's not necessarily bad, but I don't recommend it for the sale, and it might be something that you have your eye on because it was quite a trendy product. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Radiant Concealer. Now, I like this a lot more than the Beautiful Skin foundation, but it's not a special concealer still. I don't think it stands out for the price point. It's not bad. It gives an okay coverage. It looks okay on the under eye. It's just a solid okay, but it also is one of the more pricey concealers because it is from a luxury brand, and I just think you can get a lot better concealer for the exact same price, which is why I want you to be wary. I'm not going to push you away from it. It's not a terrible concealer by any means, but it's just an okay concealer at a very expensive price. So I'd go somewhere else, you know, just look in a different brand if you're just going to spend that kind of money on a concealer. Okay, so that's it actually for like base coverage products. I have a lot of cream blushes. This year was so crazy with cream blushes, and oh my gosh, these brands must have gone through some trials and tribulations because the cream blushes here outweigh any other product in this video. So I'm gonna start off. Is this the most disappointing? It is. This is the Patrick Ta Major Headlines Blush Palette Volume 2. I was certain this was gonna be amazing because this is a Volume 2. The first palette from last year, so stinking delicious, delightful, and lovely. This one, I don't know. They totally changed the formulas. This is not the same. Also, I broke mine literally like 2 minutes before filming this, but I don't like this highlighter anyway, so I'm not even sad, that should tell you. So I'm just gonna take this out. This came in the mail completely just not in the palette, and I forgot and opened it and splattered. But I still was able to just get it on my face. So how it works, 2 powder blushes, 1 powder highlight. 2 cream blushes, 1 cream highlight. The only good formulation in this palette are going to be the two powder blushes. These are very, very pigmented, so be careful with that, but beautiful. They blend nice. They're great colors. Just use a light hand. The cream blushes, so patchy and glittery, you guys. There is literal glitter in these. It's not that cute. I mean, not the end of the world, but I know a lot of you guys don't like that. The cream highlight, horrific. Literally like Vaseline, has no color to it at all. Pulls out foundation, and the powder highlight is even worse. It is so chunky, and you're meant to use the cream and the powder together. I did that here, and it is breaking up, looking thick, making my makeup look absolutely terrible. So 90% of why my base looks terrible, okay, 90 is a bit too high because my base products weren't that great either, but a huge reason to why it looks extra terrible and like scaly here is that highlight combo. And I tried on both sides, one powder first and then cream, and then on the other side I tried cream first, powder first, and I've used this palette multiple times trying to experiment, powder first, cream first, layering. The only product that I enjoy is when I just use the powder blush alone. The cream blush lacks color, it's uneven pigment. Like I said, it has glitter. This is not the same formula as last year. I love last year's. This one breaks up the foundation underneath. It's just uneven, it's not enjoyable to use. I don't know, I'm actually kind of mad about that one because last year's was so good and this one, it's so bad and so expensive. I don't understand. So, moving on. Another kind of product are the Huda Beauty Cheeky Tints. So these look super pretty. When you swatch them, I'm like, yes, give it to me. It's gonna be good. Love Huda. For some reason, these apply very uneven to my cheek. When I first, throw it down on there, it looks really nice. Then I blend it and I feel like something's off. So then I keep going in to kind of even it out, blend that out. Something's off again. I just can't seem to get like nice even layer of good color on my cheeks with these, which is a shame because they are so beautiful. And I'm not saying you can't put this on the cheek and it's not going to look pretty. It does look pretty, but it's just really odd that something will be off. I'll kind of fill in the area, blend that out, and this different area is off. Yeah, don't recommend that. This one's a little older, but the YSL new Lip and Cheeky Balmy Tint. I feel like this is also like putting slightly tinted Vaseline on my cheeks or like a lip balm, and it doesn't look good on the cheeks. It literally feels like I'm applying lip gloss to the cheeks, and you don't even get the color payoff that you see when you swatch it. Not a great experience applying. It feels sticky. There's a lack of color there. Your face feels a little heavy wherever you applied it. So yeah, and I don't even like it on the lips either because this literally feels like it should be a lip balm, and it looks really chalky and uneven on the lips as well. So I haven't found much use for this. This one really wasn't trending, but I felt offended by it, so I wanted to put it in here in case you were looking at the YSL new line. Okay. And then I told you there was a lot of cream blushes. This is the last one. This is from Ilia. I know it's not brand new, but it's the time of value sets, so you might be eyeing this one up. The Ilia Multi-Stick Face Palette. I don't get along with this product. I thought maybe, well, first of all, I didn't realize this was multi-sticks in here. I do not like the multi-sticks, but I was like, okay, I only have like 1 or 2 colors. Maybe this will give me the opportunity to try more colors, and maybe I'll find a color that I like. All 6 kind of are not good. Again, there's a lack of pigment. They're kind of thick, so you have to kind of press and tug to get them to blend it out, and then as soon as you blend them out, the color is gone. Now, I know a lot of people do like the multi-stick formula, so take my review with a grain of salt. If there are opposing opinions, maybe I'm missing something, but didn't like these in individual forms, don't like this in the palette. Moving on to eyes. I have 2 mascaras, and then we'll get into the eyeshadow palettes. So the first one I want to talk about is from Makeup Forever. Love Makeup Forever, a tried and true trusted brand. Love their products. This, the Professional Mascara, I don't know. Marketing, baby. So how it works is there are 2 steps. So one side is the lift. It's a smaller brush. Don't notice it doing any lifting. BT dubs. And step 2 is for volume. Now volume, okay. This one gives me a little baba boom. I'm not upset with it, but overall, I feel like the two-step situation's a little gimmicky. I don't notice them building off of each other. The volume side gives me a little bit of baba boom, but I have so many other better mascaras at this price point or a lot less money, so this one doesn't stand out to me. And I just wanted to mention this because I do love Makeup Forever so much, and I do feel like they come out with some really great products. I'm not feeling that about this one. It's way too much money. Another one is from Tarte. This is a Tartelette tubing mascara, and it's okay on my lashes. I don't dislike it, but it's just kind of there on my lashes. But the problem is, with this, it stays there. I cannot get this mascara off for the life of me. It's a tubing mascara. You're supposed to use water to get it off. Particularly cold helps. But oh my gosh, I feel like I'm pulling out my natural lashes when I'm trying to get this off. Literally, when I wear this, and I put it on today, so I'm going to be on the struggle bus, I will have this mascara on my lashes for like 2-3 days because I cannot get this off. It is not a tubing mascara. It doesn't come off. It doesn't come off with waterproof makeup remover, water, warm water, cold water. I tried it all. It's a pain whenever I have to use it. Okay, let's get into eyeshadow palettes. We're going to start off with the one that I'm wearing. Honestly, not that bad, but disappointing nonetheless. I don't recommend it. This is from Too Faced, and it is the Better Than Chocolate palette. Now, it might be tempting because obviously the super nostalgic, super popular chocolate palettes. This is the first one to launch in many, many years. I was excited. I'm a boring gal. I love browns. I don't love this. It's just not great quality. The shimmer shadows feel a little cheap to me. There's a few shades in here that you get no pigment out of whatsoever. The mattes are fine. They're solid, but they're just fine. And I've had some Too Faced palettes that are really great, have phenomenal quality. And I've also tried some Too Faced palettes that have been really bad quality. I just am not on board with the inconsistencies that we have with Too Faced. And if you're considering picking up a Too Faced palette, I'm not against that. I still like Too Faced palettes. I like this color story. You can get a pretty look with this palette. I mean, I used it today. It's fine. There are certain colors that you're going to have to stay away from because they don't really work, but this is not one that I would recommend you to get. If you want to get one, the Pumpkin Spice Second Slice palette is way better, has way better quality. So I wanted to mention this mostly for the fact that the Pumpkin Spice one is kind of similar to this one and it's better. So stay away from this one, get that one instead. But let me show you how I got this look though. It is pretty if you do have this palette. I started off with the shade Bite Me right here. It has a little bit of pink to it, which I think kind of matches my blush better. So that's why I used it in the crease. Blended it out. That's kind of my main transition shade here. Then to kind of warm things up, add a little bit of depth, I went into brownie points over here just in the outer corner. I didn't do anything crazy for today's makeup look because I knew I wasn't going to be feeling it anyways. And then the darkest shade, brownie points, smoked it out even more. Outer corner of the eye, lower lash line. The mattes in here are fine. I have no issues with them at all. I used I'm the Dessert for the lid color. It's very, very pretty as well. Nothing to write home about, but it's a decent quality shade. That's most of this look. So after I put I'm the Dessert all over the lid, I then went in with Milk It in the inner corner, which is a very chalky, shimmery white. But since I put it in a small space on my eye, it's fine if it's a little chunky, you know? But overall, this palette's inconsistent. This shade is absolutely terrible. It already has so much hard pan. And this shade gives off no pigment. This gives off nothing. It's way too inconsistent for the price point. I think this is like $54, at least 40 to 50. Save yourself the money. Don't get that one. Okay, and then, so these are expensive. These are like $90. So I wanted to talk about them. I have a full review on these if you want to learn more about these, but these are from the new Tom Ford Soleil Neige collection. In the past, I really enjoyed the Soleil Neige launches from them, which is why I picked these up this year. I've also really disliked them. This one, not worth it, $90, even with the discount. So first we have Chalet Lust, which is really light, kind of a lid toppery palette. Honestly, very pretty. It's not that I dislike it, it's just definitely not worth the money here. $90 for these shimmery shades that don't have that much differences on the eyelid. Listen, I'm not mad I picked this or the other one up, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend that you pick it up. It's the kind of situation where I picked it up because I wanted to review it. And I'm not angry or upset that I picked it up. It's fine, I will use them. But if I were to give you $90 to spend on makeup, I wouldn't tell you to get these. The other one is Opera Ski. I liked this one more than I thought I would. It's kind of warm, but it actually was very, very pretty on the eyelid, but very repetitive within Tom Ford's line. They're kind of sheer. The shades don't look very different from one another. They're fine. If you love Tom Ford, you want to support the brand, you love what they give, the finish on the eye, you know what, you might really enjoy those. But not something that I personally feel comfortable recommending. And the last palette that I have, okay. When I talk about not liking this palette, so many of you are ready to fight me on it, so listen. You can't tell me how to use it better. You can't tell me I'm using it wrong. I just don't like it, and that is that. And that is the $125. And that is the Danessa Myricks Lightwork Volume 4 palette. So this is crazy. This is like such a beautiful artistry palette, super galactic, very unique. Thank you, Danessa, for doing that. Unfortunately, for $125, not all of the shades are to my liking. So these outside shades here, stunning. Love them, gorgeous pigmented. I'm not talking about those. What I'm talking about are these center shades. I can't get behind them, you guys. Yes, I know that these are supposed to be water activated. I've tried different amounts of water, less, a lot. They're so watery, and then I'll let them get down to a paste, and I don't like them in either way because I'll apply them to the lid and they break up everything that I have underneath. My eyelid will get sticky. It's very difficult to work with. And then these two right here, they just look so uneven on the eyelid. Like I'll get a huge clump on one part and I can't really seem to spread it out. And when you do spread it out, you really tug on the eyelid. But if you try patting, I don't know, it's not enough force. It doesn't move around. I've tried it with silicone applicators. It's caused way too much trouble than what it's worth, in my opinion. Now, if you are really feeling the outside shades, that's what you're mostly interested in. I mean, I don't know who can say a bad thing about these because they're stunning. But these four, I mean, I don't consider myself to be a beginner with makeup. I am no crazy makeup artist, special effect, editorial makeup kind of person, but I'm pretty good at making formulas work. I can't get these to work, and even though I can and I can make them look okay, I don't like them, and it wasn't worth the effort. And for me, not a fan. Personally, don't recommend that for $125. All right, lastly, let's get, oh my gosh. Lastly, let's get into the lips. So I have this formula from Laura Mercier. This is the Petal Soft Lip Crayon. I have the shade Emily. It's really, really sheer, which I don't necessarily think is a bad thing, but I think it just looks really uneven on my lips. You can see it go into the fine lines. It looks patchy, and it makes my lips look dry, even though my lips don't feel dry. Now, what I like to use this for is after I put on my foundation and I have foundation lips, I'll kind of use this to bring some color back into my face, but I'm putting a color over top of it at the end. This on its own, I just don't think does the texture of my lips any favors. It's kind of patchy on the lips, so I tried to make this work for me. There are some uses that I do have for it, but I don't really like it. And then lastly, you might be interested in picking these up, and that's fine, and a lot of people like these, but I don't, and that is the Rare Beauty lip liners and lipstick. Love the colors that she has. I actually got sent the whole range, which I am very thankful for, but unfortunately, while I love the application of these and I love the colors, I love the concept, I love how there's a matching lip liner to a matching lipstick, these disappear so fast on me. I don't know what it is. Now, I know some of you have said you really liked it and you didn't have that problem, but for me, I don't know, they just disappear into thin air. I don't get it. The lip liners obviously last a little longer than the lipstick, but this color that I have on my lips, it was way darker when I applied it. I can feel it kind of drying up my lips. They're not terrible. Okay, I'm happy I have them because they're such good colors. I don't mind reapplying my lip colors while I'm out, but especially when it comes to the lighter shades, it does not stick on my lips at all. Especially, oh my gosh, if I eat or drink, forget about it. It's all gone. All right, guys, anyways, those are some products that I do not recommend picking up for the Sephora sale, and why. As always, these are just my opinion. This is solely for entertainment and hopefully to educate you if you needed some help or talking out of products. Just because it doesn't work for me doesn't mean it's not going to work for you. But yeah, I feel like I don't do too many negative long form videos, so I thought since I've been talking up so much products, we could do a little bit of the opposite day. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you aren't subscribed to my channel already, go ahead and do that and like this video. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye guys, have a good one. Danessa Meyer's Light Work Volume. What is Ivy? I was saying you better not leave this part in. Okay, yeah. And that is the Danessa Meyer's Lightwork Volume 4 palette.